The number of Omicron patients in India has climbed up to 38, with 5 new cases being reported on Sunday, and Kerala reporting its first case of this new variant of the coronavirus. 5 fresh cases surfaced on Saturday, 1 each in Chandigarh, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra and Kerala. For Andhra Pradesh and Chandigarh and Kerala, these were the first cases to be reported in these states. But in Kerala, the first case of an Omicron variant was reported when a person returned from the UK to Ernakulam. This infected patient tested negative initially. Now the patient's wife and mother have tested positive for COVID. Results are awaited as to whether the mother and the patient's wife are also positive with the Omicron variant. In Maharashtra's Nagpur, a 40-year-old tested positive for the Omicron variant who had returned from South Africa. There are 18 total cases of the Omicron variant in the state. In Andhra Pradesh, the first case of the Omicron variant was a 34-year-old who returned from Ireland. The patient had no symptoms. In Karnataka, a 34-year-old who returned from South Africa is confirmed to have the Omicron variant. 3 Omicron cases have been reported from the state. In Chandigarh, a 20-year-old returned from Italy to visit his family and tested positive. He was asymptomatic. He's been fully vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine in Italy. And here's a special report. Due to the coronavirus over the last 2 years, lakhs of people have died in Maharashtra and their families are still suffering, especially the women, the widows. The biggest problems for these widows, COVID widows, is that they are barely able to run their homes after their husbands passed away. And recently, the Supreme Court has pulled up the Maharashtra government for not giving them the timely compensation that was promised to them, that is due to them.
New career for Kavita after her husband died of COVID 3 months ago. Kavita, who lives in Dombivali area adjacent to Mumbai, had to start driving an auto to take care of her 2 young children. She is also trying to pay back the 4.5 lakh rupees she had to borrow for her husband's hospital bills.
मेरे मिस्टर जाने के बाद 1 महीना लगा मेरे को रिक्शा सीखने, तो अभी रिक्शा चला के घर चलाती है। नहीं, सरकार कुछ भी मदद नहीं कर रही है। देखो ना, बच्चे लोग इतना छोटे हैं, स्कूल भी वाले वो भी बोल रहे हैं हम फी माफ नहीं करेंगे, तो हम घर कैसे चलाएंगे ना।
Bhagyashree Pawali is back to school after dropping out in the 12th grade. She hopes to get a job to support her children after her husband died of COVID in April this year. All their savings went into her husband's treatment, but all the injections bought in the black market at exorbitant rates could not save him.
इंजेक्शन तो लगे थे उन टाइम पे, तो हमने एक इंजेक्शन 40,000 में लाए थे, 3 इंजेक्शन। मेरे को अभी पढ़ना है, मेरे बच्चे के लिए कुछ करना है।
Bhagyashree Sekte's husband used to drive an auto. After his death due to COVID, she is now learning to drive an auto to support her 4 kids.
कडे होते थोडंफार पैसे, ते पण आजारामध्ये दवाखान्यामध्ये संपून गेलेले आहेत. तर मला बराच म्हणजे असा संकटांचा सामना करावा लागतो. लाईट बिल, पाण्याचा बिल, मुलांच्या शिक्षणाची फी, काही शाळा माफ करत नाही शिक्षणाची फी अजिबात.
On 6 December, the Supreme Court had reprimanded the Maharashtra government over compensation. The court has ordered 50,000 rupees to be given to the next of kin of the deceased. More than 1 lakh deaths occurred in Maharashtra and more than 37,000 people applied for compensation. But the court expressed its displeasure as the compensation has not been given so far.
कोविड विडोज की संख्या 70,000 से ज़्यादा है और जिनकी उम्र 50 साल से कम है उनकी संख्या आज 20,000 से ज़्यादा है। इन महिलाओं को रोजगार की आवश्यकता है, लेकिन सरकार ने उनके रोजगार के लिए कोई भी प्रोग्राम अभी तक बनाया नहीं।
There are countless such stories of the COVID period where the government left these people alone to face their problems. Now, after the rebuke from the Supreme Court, while the government is saying that they will be helping the people, it will still take some time for the process to be completed, and by that time the trouble of these women will only increase. In Mumbai with camera person Praveen Jirohit, Sohit Mishra, NDTV.
And in the latest communal attack against Christians in Karnataka, right-wing extremist group set on fire religious books belonging to Christians in Kolar in Karnataka, and the police have not made any arrests.
Shocking images from Kolar, about 2 hours from Bengaluru, as Hindutva activists in full view of the police tear up and burn religious books belonging to Christians. They even try to charge at the Christian group as the police tries to calm them down. The Hindutva group claims that the Christians were going door to door propagating the Christian faith. Proselytizing in the name of religion is not illegal and can hardly be used as a defense for burning books. But the police have not made a single arrest. In fact, shockingly, they claim the Christians have been warned not to propagate their faith. This latest attack, the 9th so far since the past 6 months, and this comes at a time when the BJP-led Karnataka government has been moving close to passing an anti-conversion bill, now set to be discussed in the winter session in the State Assembly. The Chief Minister attempted to defend it.
ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ದುರುಪಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆಸೆ ಆಮೇಷ ಒಡ್ಡಿ ಮತಾಂತರ ಆಗುವಂತದ್ದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ.
Christian leaders have opposed the bill, saying it will worsen the attacks on the Christians.
Honorable Chief, it's been taken into consideration that how many Christians have increased from the independence area to today. We are still 2.1%. On the other hand, the number of attacks that have sporadically come, it is much more than that. Now that he is bringing a tool, he is letting loose a tiger and saying that don't get scared, it's just a small cat that is coming around, we will take care of you, etc. I don't think the Chief Minister should play on our sentiment.
In what appears to be another attack on a church priest, CCTV footage has captured a man in his 30s barged into a church at Vaibhav Nagar of Belagavi district of Karnataka with a machete, chasing the priest, Father Francis D'Souza. A police complaint has been filed. In Bengaluru, Shrija for NDTV.
Meanwhile, salt, refined oil and chana packets with the photographs of Prime Minister Modi and the UP Chief Minister Adityanath have been distributed to the poor across 80,000 ration shops in the state of Uttar Pradesh on Sunday. This as the government launched a campaign to distribute free food grain to the poor. 20 days ago, the central government announced it would extend this Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana for a period of 4 months from December till March, and the scheme started during the COVID pandemic in 2020. It provides 5 kgs extra ration per person per month free of cost for all the beneficiaries covered under the National Food Security Act. But the elephant in the room really is that there are elections in UP starting in just 2 months, and now the Adityanath-led UP government is going to step further, saying they're even going to provide each beneficiary of the centre's free ration scheme an additional 1 kg of dal, 1 kg of salt and 1 kg of chana from its side. And the 800 crore rupee Kashi Vishwanath corridor project in Varanasi is all set to be inaugurated on Monday, inaugurated by the Prime Minister. The big celebrations are being planned in Varanasi, which is the Prime Minister's constituency. All chief ministers of BJP-ruled states are going to be attending. And this ambitious project connects 2 city landmarks, that is the Ganga River to the iconic Kashi Vishwanath temple. And it's a project that is important for the BJP politically too, with those crucial state elections just about 2 months away.
Kashi Vishwanath corridor that's going to be inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday. I just want to pan to this side and show you the Ganga river. So these are the steps of the corridor that, as you can see, are still under construction. It will take a while for them to get their final shape. But what the Prime Minister is doing is that before I talk about that, let me just show you the burning ghats there. These are the Manikarnika ghats where cremations take place. It's a very famous place across the country. And to this side is the other ghat. That is also a prominent one in Varanasi, and the corridor is coming up in between these two ghats. And there, as you can see, the Ganga river, of course, no one is a stranger to that. We all know about the Ganga river and its importance in Varanasi. The corridor is coming up to this side. So to this side is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. I'm going to just walk inside as I show you these last minute preparations that are taking place. Obviously this is very hurried because the Prime Minister is coming in tomorrow, so it's debatable whether all of this will be complete or not. The Prime Minister will be taking a vehicle and will be coming to this area where, as you can see, like I said, finishing touches still happening for the entire corridor. It's likely that all of this will finish in, say, a month from now, but it is getting inaugurated tomorrow. To that side is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. I give you shots from a top angle of the temple and the corridor, I'd like to pan this side and also show you the older part of Varanasi. These are areas very close to the ghats. You can see that this is a very congested space beyond the Kashi Vishwanath temple. But now that I walk to this side, it'll be interesting to see how this area has transformed. So this is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Earlier, the temple was confined within this space that is on your camera right now. But right now, what has happened is that this entire area has been cleared out. So the congestion here has been removed, and these buildings have been constructed very close to the famous Manikarnika or burning ghats of Varanasi. The additional space that's been required to create this infrastructure has been about 55,000 square meters. And the project, according to the government, has taken around 900 crores to build. The Kashi Vishwanath temple in Varanasi, where the Kashi corridor is going to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister on Monday. At the moment, you can see festivities here at the Kashi Vishwanath temple with this group of devotees singing, dancing and also chanting, perhaps to mark the occasion as the Prime Minister visits Varanasi to carry out the inauguration tomorrow. He had laid the foundation stone for the corridor in 2019.
करता रहिए अपना काम।
Achyut Mohandas is a priest at the ISKCON temple in Varanasi. So I just want to ask you, what do you feel about the redeveloped corridor? An added question to that would be that some say that the mystique or the magic of Varanasi is also in its congested lanes and the way people used to access it earlier. So what do you feel about the modernization of it and the fact that this entire path has been cleared for devotees to access it perhaps in a better way?
Oh yes, this is a very important question. And I would say that as far as the experience of everyone goes here, this is the best thing which could have happened.
Okay.
Because we do agree that the traditional Kashi was in its small lanes and those congested lifestyle which we used to experience. At the same time, to share that experience with everyone, to share the blessings of Vishwanath with everyone who can come here in a hygienic way, and they can experience the ecstasy here, which is available in the spiritual chanting of Lord's names.
You are a priest, you are very far away from politics, so to say. But what did you say about all the hype that's been created over the inauguration? I mean, it deserves it, of course. I mean, that's another aspect as you told about it. But what do you feel about the political hype around it, given that elections are also around the corner?
Yeah, as you rightly mentioned, I'm not an expert on this matter. At the same time, the essence which I see about is that this is very good, because at least through that, Kashi's name, Vishwanathji's name, Ganga Maiya's name, and the Lord Krishna's, Lord Rama's names are spreading all over in the media. So it's like purifying it, you know, whether you put it this way or that way, the medicine acts.
Standing at the famous Godalia intersection in Varanasi. To this side is the Dashashwamedh Ghat and the famous congested by-lanes of this temple town. To this side is the Kashi Vishwanath temple, and also one end of the Kashi corridor that the Prime Minister is inaugurating. A blend of tradition and modern things, so to say, at this intersection. But at the end of the day, perhaps this inauguration is also as much about politics as it is about religion. With Ajay Singh and Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.